Hello everyone and welcome to Daily News Simplified, your one-stop solution for the detailed analysis of the current affairs which are published in the daily edition of the Hindu newspaper. Articles dated 13th of May are listed on your screen and the time stamping along with the notes in PDF and Word format are given in the description box. So let us begin with the first article for the day. This article of the Hindu newspaper appeared on the business page where it talks about that the Reserve Bank of India has taken a new initiative to join the 12 other countries or the regulators in order to tackle the greenwashing risk which are appearing in India. The context says that RBI is going to join that international regulators in the Global Financial Innovation Network, which is also known as GFIN or GFIN, where this network is going to create an digital sandbox with the term tech sprint. In this tech sprint, RBI with other 12 international regulators is going to find out the solutions for the greenwashing problem faced by the member countries. The reason for RBI's participation is that India wants to help the regulators and the market who are working effectively to tackle the greenwashing effect on the financial services. Now, from the perspective of the UPSC examination, this topic is relevant for your GS paper 3 under economic growth, development, as well as the environmental issues. Today, we are going to look into the greenwashing effect with respect to the financial services, but we are going to understand this concept from the perspective of the environment. So let us begin the discussion with understanding the key terms which were mentioned in the article. The first important key term is the greenwashing itself. So what does greenwashing means? The another name of greenwashing is green sheen. So UPSC can play with the students in order to make a thing complicated. They may ask green sheen instead of greenwashing. Now when this question is being asked, you have to give the proper definition. So greenwashing is a process of conveying a false impression or the misleading information about how a company's product are environmentally sound. Now, the moment we say that it is environmentally sound, it means we are talking about something with respect to the environmental sustainability. Now, in environmental sustainability, the most important question is that whatever we are doing right now with respect to our interaction in the ecosystem and the interaction in the environment, is it going to help the environment in long term or not? Are we going to replenish the resources that we are using as of now or not? So, whenever a company, let's say a private company, brings out a product, let's say they have brought a new kind of bottles which are plastic bottles. And now they are falsely claiming, they are misleading with the advertisements that their plastic bottle is environmentally friendly. Now, when they say environmentally friendly, does that mean that the bottle is going to be degraded within years, within months, or may take 100 years or more? Now, this is something which they call as greenwashing, making customers fool out of the fake promises, false impressions, and misleading information on the point that the company's product is actually green. Under this scheme, a company deceives the customers or the consumers, where the consumers believe that the products that they are using are environmentally friendly or have a great positive environmental impact. For example, a bamboo bottle. But is that bamboo bottle was created from the sustainable means or not is not clear. What if natural habitation was cleared? What if the forest area was cleared to grow bamboo? In that manner, that bamboo is not going to be sustainable. We have cleared a natural sustainable forest in order to grow bamboo. Now that kind of fake promises are called as greenwashing. We have washed out the green or the environmentally sustainable things by lying to the customer. So it is more a lying concept, it is more a falsehood concept between a company and the customers. Now, the methods that companies are using under this process is that they are creating fake environmental imagery, They are providing misleading labels, hiding their trade-offs, renaming, rebranding or repackaging, or even over-advertising their product just to make things more conducive and truthful. The best example that we can learn under the greenwashing is that a plastic package which contains a new shower curtain is labeled as recycle. Now, the moment you buy this product, you think that this product is recycle, but it is not clear whether the package is recyclable or the shower curtain is recyclable. So this kind of misleading information by the companies towards the customers is known as greenwashing. Now, when the same greenwashing or the misleading information to the customer is given in the financial matter, then comes the role of RBI. So when misleading information is given to the customers in the financial matter, that will called as greenwashing and it will be tackled by RBI. Now, one important point is that we should know what is the difference between greenwashing and the whitewashing. Now, whitewashing means giving the false information just with the intention to hide the wrongdoings. What are the wrongdoings? Errors, unpleasant situation, which will be bad for the customers. Now, the basic difference between the two means that under whitewashing, it is intentionally done to make things go wrong. Under greenwashing, it may not be intention of the company to make things go wrong. It may be because of the profiteering, it may be because of increasing the sales. The another term which was mentioned in the news article was digital sandbox. It is also known by the term cyber sandbox or the virtual sandbox. It is an isolated and a controlled environment that allows the users to experiment, test, or develop their digital technologies or any application or the cyber security solution. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say there's a particular website over which a company can register and test their products. Let's say they have created a particular software and they would like to test this particular software. So they need a platform. This platform will be called as digital sandbox. It is a cloud-based performer or the platform which is used to test the products. GFIN or Global Financial Innovation Network will launch a tech sprint, and this tech sprint is nothing but a kind of digital sandbox. So any company, any regulator, any organization that is participating in GFIN, for example RBI, is going to launch their products to fight the greenwashing in the tech sprint. In the tech sprint meeting, companies will come, the regulators will come. It will be hosted by GFIN, which will use this on 5th June. Why 5th June? Because it is World Environment Day. The aim of the tech sprint is to bring together 13 international regulators, including the RBI, alongside the companies, private firms, innovators, with an aim of addressing the priority on environmental, social, and governance issues. Through this entire initiative, RBI is going to control the greenwashing which is taking place in India, where the customers are being cheated by the financial companies. Now the point is, what is GFIN? It is an international organization or the initiative which was launched in 2019. It is an international group of financial regulators like RBI and related organizations which are working in the financial field. Financial Conduct Authority. It has over 70 organizations associated with it. See, understand, this is not an international organization where governments are directly involved. It is not an intergovernmental organization, neither it is working under the UN. The purpose of this organization is to develop financial products in the interest of the customers. So let's say we have UPI. And if there is any problem with respect to UPI, and here RBI is going to launch a cyber security product. Hence, RBI can use the digital sandbox of TechSprint to launch this particular cybersecurity product under GFIN. And other countries, if they are interested, they can use this product for their cybersecurity in the financial sector. Any firm which is looking to launch their particular product, let's say any software or any business model, can approach different regulators and organizations which are 70 in numbers for their rolling out of the product. The primary functions of GFIN includes that it focuses on the emergent technologies, like UPI is an emergent technology, at a cross-sectoral level to identify the gaps in the regulatory ecosystem. It acts as surveillance tool to be more effective at spotting issues before they can be crystalline. It runs collaborative data which focuses on the different activities, and it engages in market-facing services and the initiative to gather the insights from the global markets and the regulators such as RBI on the emerging technologies, trends and policies. So the bottom line is, whatever GFIN is doing in the field of financial sector across the world, where the customer remains the core area or the core target. Customer should not be cheated by any financial product across the world. Now let's talk about the issues with respect to greenwashing, why it is a matter of concern. The first one is it leads to the misleading of the customers or the consumers. So greenwashing deceives customers or consumers by providing false information or exaggerated environmental claims that they can do this, they can do that, they can save the environment, so on and so forth. This can lead to misguided purchasing decisions on the part of the consumer, who may unknowingly support companies that are not genuinely committed to the sustainability. It undermines the customers or the consumers' trust, hampers their ability to make the informed choices. The next issue is that the regulatory and legal challenges are being posed. Regulating greenwashing practices present challenges due to the complex and the evolving nature of environmental claims. Setting enforceable standards and effectively monitoring the compliance across industries can be difficult. Additionally, legal definitions and the requirements for sustainable environmental claims may vary across jurisdiction, making consistent regulation a very challenging task. Then comes the undermining sustainability efforts. So greenwashing diverts attention and resources away from the truly sustainable practice and products. So the companies which are making tall claims about their product may not be actually sustainable, while those products which are really sustainable may not be popularized. It can create a false perception that companies are making significant environmental progress, while they may only be making superficial changes or just engaging in the minimal green initiative just to show off. This undermines the genuine sustainability effort which are being shown by less popular brands, less popular companies. This also damages the brand reputation. Greenwashing can severely damage a company's reputation. Once its misleading claims are exposed, it comes with the negative publicity and public backlashes and can lead to the loss of consumer trust, decreasing sales, long-term damage of the brand's image and even the falling profits, which ultimately leads to the unemployment. Rebuilding trust after greenwashing scandal can be a significant challenge. Then comes the lack of standards and the verifications. The absence of standardized guidelines like the one we have in India, and the lack of verification process for the environmental claim. What if tomorrow a particular detergent company or a soap company says that their soap or detergent are environmentally friendly? Who is there to verify? There is no agency to do that. So it makes easier for the company to engage in the greenwashing activity. They can easily cheat customers. Without clear criteria and independent certification, it becomes challenging for consumers to differentiate between what is genuine, sustainable as a product and what are not. Then comes the issue of difficulty in assessing environmental impact assessment. As we know that greenwashing often relies on the vague and unsubstantiated claims. It is already fake. which makes it difficult for the customers or the consumers to assess the actual environmental impact of that particular product or a company at large. Lack of transparency and specific information prevents the consumers from making well-informed choices and supporting products or even companies with true sustainability credentials. And the last issue is that ineffectiveness of self-regulation. While some industries have established voluntarily guidelines and self-regulatory framework to address the greenwashing, they may lack enforceability and oversight. This allows companies to make unsubstantiated claims without facing significant consequences, diminishing the effectiveness of self-regulation in curbing the greenwashing practices. Now, with this, all the issues, we should now start focusing on what is the benefit if we control the greenwashing in India. The first important benefit would be that there will be the customer protection that will come. Greenwashing can mislead or deceive consumers who genuinely want to make environmentally responsible choices. By controlling greenwashing, consumers are protected from the false and the exaggerated environmental claim, which will allow them to make informed decisions for the reliable product in the future. The second is with respect to the market integrity. Controlling greenwashing helps maintain the integrity of the market by promoting fair competition. Companies that are engaged in greenwashing gain an unfair advantage over the competitors who do not have such practices. So by preventing the greenwashing, a level playing field is created where all the companies are treated equally and allow the consumers to differentiate between truly sustainable and the misleading informations. Then comes the point of trust and reputation. So when we control the greenwashing, we contribute to the building trust and maintain the reputation of the companies in the industries. This fosters the long-term trust and enhances the company's reputation among the consumers and protects the economy as well. This is followed by the innovation and the collaboration. Effective control of the greenwashing, which will encourage the innovation and collaboration in the sustainable practices. Companies which are motivated to develop genuine eco-friendly products, technologies, solutions will come forward. Collaboration among these businesses, regulators and consumers can drive collective efforts which will help towards addressing the environmental challenges and finding their sustainable solutions. Then comes the benefit of strengthening the sustainability effort. When greenwashing is controlled, companies are incentivized to invest where? In genuine sustainability initiatives. So what if companies really want to grow bamboo on a dry region or on a sustainable region? Or what if they would like to grow on a cultivable wasteland? It is kind of a promotion. Knowing that they will held accountable for their claims, companies are motivated to improve their environmental performance. They will adopt sustainable practices and make measurable progress towards reducing their environmental footprints. And the last one is environmental accountability. When we control the greenwashing, companies are held accountable for their environmental claims. We will have a regulator who will ask these companies how come their product is sustainable. That will ensure that their actions are aligned with the stated commitments, whatever they are saying in their particular advertisement. And it will prevent the dilution of the efforts towards their true sustainability. So with all these efforts, RBI is going to benefit on the financial companies which are claiming the wrong products. Not only that, if RBI becomes a true regulator, greenwashing can be controlled and a lot of benefit to the economy can come up. With this discussion placed, let us now move to the next article for the day. This article of the Hindu newspaper appeared on the editorial page and talks about the criticism of the government with respect to the welfare spending that they are doing in the last 7-8 years. According to the context, this year's union budget was criticized by the experts for the declining in the allocation of welfare schemes in the real terms, even after the post-COVID-19 recovery, when the welfare scheme spending should have been the priority for the government. The relevance of this article comes from the fact that in GS paper 2 and GS paper 3, health sector and issues with respect to the health sector growth and development and infrastructure with respect to the social infrastructure could be asked. So today we are going to look into the content with respect to the dismal situation of social sector spending in India, why there has been the criticism of the falling welfare schemes in India, and why do we need to have higher social sector spending in India. Being a developing country, India requires higher spending on the social sector, including health, education and others. In 2019 mains examination, there was a question which was asked with respect to the growing divergence in the relationship between poverty and hunger. The shrinking of the social expenditure, that is the social sector expenditure of the government, was forcing the poor to spend more on the non-food essential items. Now this is the topic which can easily be answered if we know the content of today's article. So let's look into the basic allocation in the last 15-16 years. Now from this table you can easily understand that in the absolute term, yes, there is an increase in the overall social sector spending. But the GDP is also increasing simultaneously. So is this increase comparable to the GDP? So till 2011 and 12, or as you can see in this segment, there was a consistent increase in the overall social sector spending. But since then, there has been a regular decline, and as of now, it is close to 6% of the GDP. So Government of India, like many other countries which are in the developing sector, is spending 6% of their GDP to the social sector. However, in terms of the developed nation, it is close to 15 to 20% of their GDP. Now the observation of the article says, now you can use all these points as an important highlight in your mains answer writing or in your mains answer. For example, the first argument says the allocation to the Anganwadi or Integrated Child Development Scheme and that to the Poshan Abhiyan has brought down from 0.13% to 0.07%, which is just a 50% decline. The another says that the National Family Health Surveys 5 proved that the percentage of anemic, underweight and the stunted children in India has been around 67, 32 and 36% respectively, which is a very high and very dismal data. As far as allocation to the midday meal is concerned, so it has reduced by 50% to its share to the GDP, which is again a matter of concern. Under Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, just 1/4 of the allocation which was made or which it deserved to be given to the women was received. Since 2020-21, National Food Security Act and MG Narega scheme have also shown to be receiving the declining trade of their share to the GDP. So be it the employment, be it the health, be it the education, overall government expenditure has been reducing to the share of their GDP. In fact, according to the RBI report, the real wages of the casual workers grew less than 1% per annum. Now the real wages is the money wages that a person is getting in hand. Let's say a labor is getting 10,000 rupees in hand minus the inflation rate. So if a person's money wage has increased by 10%, but the inflation has increased by 12%, then there is a minus 2% of real wage increase. So the increase in the wages of casual worker has been just 1% over and above the inflation. So if inflation is, let's say, 4%, their increase in the wages has been 5%. And as per this 1%, a labor is not going to have higher savings in their hand. As per the State of World Children's Report given by the UNICEF, India has the lowest vaccination rates in South Asia, which is also a matter of shame for India. Even according to the World Social Protection Report by the International Labour Organization, only 24.8% of the Indians are covered by one of the social security scheme. On the other hand, it is as close as 90% in the Scandinavian countries. But there is a one good sign. Overall central health spending has increased from 0.25% to 0.3%. This 0.05% has been a welcome sign. However, still, it is just the central government. What about the state one? So for that matter, we come to a conclusion that Government of India as well as the state governments are required to make more spending to make these things come into practice. So the question arises that why do we need higher spendings on the social sector? The first reason is that we need to meet the basic needs. Social sector spending helps ensure that the basic needs, roti kapda makan, and healthcare, education, housing, social welfare are met for all the members in the society. It addresses the disparity among the people, it provides support to the vulnerable population including ST, SC, OBC, and promote the social equality and the inclusion. Then comes the poverty alleviation. Social sector spending play a vital role in reducing the poverty in the country and reduces the income inequality. By providing the targeted assistance, social safety nets, and income redistribution programs, let's say NCAP, helps to lift the people out of poverty, improve their quality of life, and create opportunities for social mobility. Then comes the matter of human capital formation. Investing in education, healthcare, and skill training through social sector spending enhances human capital development. It equips individuals with necessary knowledge, skills, and capacities or capabilities to contribute to the economic growth, productivity, and innovation, which will ultimately lead to the long-term social benefit to the country. Then comes the need for health and well-being. Social sector spending on healthcare and public health programs improves the overall health and well-being of the population. It supports the prevention and the treatment of disease. It promotes access to healthcare services and ensures that the availability of the essential medicines and vaccinations are being made. Higher spending also brings the social cohesion. Social sector spending contributes to almost like a social cohesion and stability by addressing these social issues, reducing inequalities, and promoting social integration. This higher spending will help to create more inclusive society for India. Next point says that economic stimulus can also be brought into. When we raise the spending on the social sector, we can provide an economic stimulus by creating jobs, creating demand for goods and services, and by supporting local businesses. We can also help providing the preventive measures. For example, early childhood development programs, health promotion, and social services that aims to address the issue before they escalate. By focusing on prevention, social sector spending can save cost in the long run by reducing the need for more expensive interventions and crisis management. The social stability and the crime reduction can also be benefited. When there is a higher spending by the government on the social sector, we are going to address the underlying factors such as social unrest, crime, and insecurity. Investment in the social programs, community development, and the crime prevention initiatives create safer environment for the people, especially women and children, and reduces the societal cost associated with the crime. Then another point or benefit is the gender equality and empowerment. Higher social sector spending will bring gender equality and women empowerment. It supports initiatives such as access to education, healthcare, reproductive rights, even the economic opportunities, and will bring down the barriers between different genders. It will also help in the promotion of child and youth development. Social sector spending that focuses on child and youth development ensures that young individuals, youth, have access to quality education, healthcare, and social support. This investment is critical for nurturing their potential, promoting their healthy development, and prepare them to become productive member of the society. And more the benefit a demography is going to get, more a developed a nation is going to become. Then comes the support to the aging population and the elderlies. So as the population ages, social sector spending become more and more important, especially for the older adults. So when we spend in the healthcare, when we spend in the social services, or even the pension system, we actually provide adequate care, support active aging, and ensure well-being and dignity of the senior citizens. Then comes the environmental sustainability, which comes with the higher social spending. This spending can contribute to the environmental sustainability. How? By promoting green initiative, renewable energy adoption, sustainable agriculture, and conservation efforts. It also brings to the disaster preparedness by the society and the government, as it enables the investment in the early warning system, emergency shelters, relief operations, community resilience building efforts, and so on and so forth, which will ultimately going to save the society from social burden. On the second last point, we have social innovation and the experimentation. So adequate spending will allow for the experimentation, research, innovation in addressing the social challenge. It enables the testing of new approaches, piloting innovative programs, and scaling up the successful initiative to create meaningful and sustainable social change. And the last one is higher spending will help in cultural preservation and the promotion of heritage. This spending will contribute to the cultural diversity, identity preservation, and the enrichment of the society. So if more and more government spending comes to, let's say, OBC sections or the scheduled caste sections or the scheduled tribes, so the scheduled tribe population is going to be preserved. Their culture is going to be preserved. They are not going to leave up their ancestral or their heritage or the cultural practices at all. So for all these reasons, we require a good amount of social spendings, and government should look into the matter of declining government spendings in this regard. With this entire discussion, now you will be in a position to practice this question. Strong social sector is the backbone of a strong society and economy. So you have to substantiate this using the points that we have just discussed. Then comes, why do India need a strong social sector spending in the current scenario? So here you have to discuss these important factual information that we have discussed and highlight some of the important factors from these 15 points, and then conclude with a good conclusion. With this discussion, please let us now move to the next article for the day. This article of the Hindu newspaper appeared on page 10 and talks about the upcoming Model Prison Act by the central government. Now, Government of India has decided to prepare a new Model Prison Act that is going to replace the age-old 1894 Prison Act, and it is going to bring major reforms. As far as Model Prison Act is concerned, so it can be asked in your GS paper 2 under government policies and the intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising out of their design and implementation. Now the question arises that why government is looking for a new act. The first reason is the Prison Act of 1894 is a pre-independence era act, which is almost like 130-year-old now. Secondly, as of now, there is no provision under this act for any kind of reform or rehabilitation of the prisoners as of now. The third issue is that the prisons or the prison detainees are a state subject given in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So the power of the central government is very, very limited. In fact, the prison management and prisoners administration also lies with the state government, and central government can only provide their assistance and not anything else. The new Model Act has been prepared by the Bureau of Police Research and Development for this matter. Now, for the mains examination, the best government can ask could be with respect to the major provisions of this act. As this act has not been brought into practice, so we are not going to look directly into the major provisions and their basic analysis. So here we are going to look into the basic suggestions which are going to be included in this act. The first one is that there is going to be the provision for the security assessment and segregation of prisoners and individual sentence and their planning. So we are going to now see that security and the segregation of the prisoners will remain a matter of concern. There will be a grievance redressal mechanism, prisoner development board will be created, and attitudinal change will be looked into. Provision for separate accommodation for women prisoners and transgenders will be maintained. There will be the use of technology for bringing transparency in the prisoner administration, because we have seen the cases of finding mobile phones and the laptops and the electronic devices inside the jail. Then there will be a regular video conferencing with the court, scientific and technological interventions will be provided to bring the transparency. We will have the provision of punishment for prisoners and the jail staff for the prohibited items such as mobile phones in the jail. There will be provisions regarding the establishment and the management of the high security jails and open jails or semi-open jails, Open jails means that it is not going to be a prisoner-like, and there will be a more accommodation and more freedom given to the prisoners to move around. There will be the protection of the society from the criminal activities of the hardened criminals and the habitual offenders. There will be a legal aid given to the prisoners, provision for parole, furlough, and premature release given for or against the good conduct. And lastly, there will be the more focus given to the vocational training and the skill development of the prisoners for their reintegration into the society or the mainstream society. Now, beyond these important suggestions, we are not required to go deeper into because the act has not been made into the practice. So with this discussion, please let us now move to the next article for the day. This article of the Hindu newspaper is part of the editorial section, where a collaboration between the Ayush Ministry and the Indian Council of Medical Research has come up to promote the integrated medicine system in India. A memorandum of agreement has been signed between these two entities in this regard. Now the question arises that what is integrated medicine? Well, it refers to a system where we are going to combine the Indian traditional medicine systems such as Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy along with the modern or the allopathic medicines. The reason is that it is going to provide the patients with holistic approach of healthcare where they can choose either of the treatment. It will take into account the physical, mental, emotional as well as spiritual aspects of the health system. For example, a person might be treated along with the Ayurveda, Yoga or a combination of allopathic along with yoga system for their mental and spiritual health. So by combining these different therapies, healthcare providers can tailor the treatment plans to individual patients and provide them more effective care. Now the point is, what are going to be the highlights of this joint effort between ICMR and the Ayush Ministry? So they are going to undertake a quality human trial system to generate the evidences on whether there is going to be any benefit of this combination or not. In that, the restrictions should be made for the Ayurvedic medicines first, followed by Yoga, Siddha and others. An expert committee will be created in this regard, which will decide on the areas of or the diseases, conditions that to be taken up for the clinical trials or the clinical testing. So overall clinical trials will be undertaken in this regard in order to go for this joint effort. When it comes to the significance of this joint venture, it is going to bring the superior outcomes of combined therapies, so a person can choose from that. We are going to have the evidence-based approach because it is based on the trial system or clinical trials. So it is not a blind adoption of a particular method. Lastly, there is going to be the strengthening of the country's health system and the health infrastructure, which is going to be mainstreamed by Ayush. Now the point is, why there is a significance of this traditional medicines combined with the modern one. So the first one is it is going to provide the holistic approach. Traditional Indian medicine such as Ayurveda focuses on the holistic approach to health and wellness. This means that it is considered as the individual as a whole, including his physical, mental and emotional factors. So by combining these approaches with modern medicine, a patient can receive more comprehensive and personalized care. Then comes the accessibility. So traditional Indian medicines is often more accessible and affordable than the modern medicine. So when we combine these two therapies, we are actually bringing into the modern healthcare system which reduces out-of-pocket healthcare expenditure. Then comes the point of innovation. So by combining traditional Indian medicines with the modern medicines, new and innovative treatment can be developed, which can lead to the better healthcare outcomes for patients and advances in the medical research. As far as the benefits are concerned, so overall the challenges of doctors shortage can be met. So the existing doctor to patient ratio in India is about 1:1700 patients. That is 1 doctor to 1700 patient. And the ratio improves to 1:800 when we combine these medicine system. Then comes that it is going to help tackle the multi-drug resistant diseases such as tuberculosis, where Ayush has not been taken seriously as of now. And lastly, it will reduce the pollution which is being created by the pharmaceutical companies while creating or developing medicines. Now, what we can do with respect to the steps for this holistic healthcare system? First of all, co-locate. Co-locate means, so Ayush facilities should be closer to the health centers or the primary health center. Introduce bridge courses for the Ayush practitioners. Invest in the R&D or the research and development for the Ayush ministry or for the Ayush products. Update their curriculum along with the Indian medicine system, and build awareness among the public for their higher adoption. So through this, Ayush will be promoted. It will be integrated with the mainstream allopathic medicines to provide the benefits of both the world. With this discussion place, now I am leaving you with this practice question which talks about that the revival of the traditional Indian medicine system of medicine and its fusion with modern medicines can pave a way for the holistic healthcare system. Discuss. You can answer this question in 250 words. With this discussion place, now we come to the end of today's Daily News Simplified. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more such updates.